Well, it is another week and it is another dev blog. This one's a little bit of a short one, just focusing on the new maps coming with the next milestone. A little forward they put at the top is that your feedback counts. They say that, as we mentioned in our previous dev blogs, we find it important to keep you informed on the progress of WARNO's map production. Early access launch of WARNO has been an opportunity for us to change our maps and environments depending on your feedback. Once more, thank you very much for your many, and at times very passionate comments. We salute you. One of our most recent maps was Vertigo, which integrates a host of player-based changes and remarks. It was great to see the positive feedback of this new map received. A few weeks ago, we teased two additional maps. Currently in the production pipeline are Cyrus and Volcano. Both new battlefields feature our updated level build strategy. It's high time we presented them to you. Before we do this, some notes on improvements requested by our players. So the next subtitle here is an updated battlefield. Several of you have pointed out two major aspects you would like to see changed in our environments. First, too many choke points, and second, forest areas being too big and challenging to cross. With our new Cyrus and Volcano battlefields, we aim to improve these aspects. This means that both the environments will have significantly decreased numbers of choke points, as you will note on the images running in the background that they provided. And there is also this picture where they state, as well as featuring roads in big zones of forests and mountains. So not just leaving it so that the forests are indeed just forests, there will be roads running through them. They go on to say that besides this change in strategy, we've also reduced the extent woodlands and forests dominate the gameplay parts of the topology. Keep in mind that it is important for us not to degrade the visual aspect of the maps. Trees add variety, and forests can also break up the monotony of the environment. A second point raised by some was that several players asked for maps with fewer corridors. We've also tried to implement this change in our new maps. With that out of the way, let's have a look at those two new battlefields. So the first one we're going to take a look at today is Cyrus. Cyrus is a new map dedicated to 3v3 battles. We produced this battlefield in partnership with some of WARNO's most active players. In particular, we'd like to thank Cyrus Jackson for his involvement in production. You can see this on the screen now. Obviously, a pretty large map looking at it from just here, with a lot of focus on points in the center. Now, with a surface area of 82 square kilometers, Cyrus offers a larger playing range than many of the other maps. With fewer forests, the strategic points on the battlefield are particularly identifiable, and we made the road network in such a way as to have it look natural. And similarly, Cyrus has no prominent game corridors. This means there should be less 1 versus 1 combat and more team fighting throughout the entire game. They go on to note they would love to hear what you think of Cyrus, and your continued feedback will be important in the production of our new maps, so don't hesitate to drop us a line. Moving on to the mighty Volcano. The new Volcano also clocks in at 82 kilometers squared and benefits from the same new design ethos as Cyrus. The 3v3 battlefield revolves around the central plateau, which has evidence of ancient volcanic activities. Now, while it is less open than the previous map, many sections of Volcano feature good lines of sight. Once again, we designed the roads in such a way to avoid corridors that would encourage players to get stuck in slogging 1v1 battles, and we placed the command zones to form more of a circular game zone. Volcano is a very good example of a compromise between a flat map with clear lines and something more uneven and organic. And that's it for this week. Once again, we don't have a huge amount of pictures of Volcano, sadly. This is just the one that they've left us. However, what I have done is I will now include, as always, a series of images taken from the Instagram page for those who may not have Instagram, so please stay around and have a look through those. Otherwise, thank you everyone for joining me. I hope you all have a great weekend. So for those of you who are sticking around for the images, this first one is a 203mm 2.4 AA gun. I won't bother reading out all of the little jokes that Eugen have put alongside these, but we'll move on to the next one. You can stop this and pause it as you see fit. This one is those 122mm rockets. Next, we have just an image of a Jeep. They're talking about the devil being in the detail here, in the fact that there will be more than 800 units in WARNO now with such great high quality textures. Next, we have again the 122mm caliber unguided but precise rockets. Then we're moving on to what they title a dangerous supply run, which is just one of the supply choppers. This image is just titled Icarus Syndrome. Next up we have a nice chopper, one of the Hot 2s. Next up we have a shot of one of the anti-air guns firing. This one is more of showing off their firing special effects, and they believe these are the hardest to make in a video game and feel that they've done a pretty good job, and well, they're probably right, it does look good. And next up they included an image of the Cyrus battlefield, and then another image of the Volcano battlefield. You can sort of see the actual map properly in the top corner there, but unfortunately it's very small and not hugely detailed. And then again we get another look at Cyrus in this final image, and that's a lot, I'm afraid. It would have been nice to have a few more images of the maps, perhaps something a bit bigger, maybe something top down, so you could interrogate the map or something like that and go through it in a bit more detail in a video like this, but alas, it is what it is. Thanks again for joining me everyone if you stayed for the images, and I hope you all have a fantastic weekend.